It's my humble pleasure to invite the driver of this process, who is none other than Dr. Raymond Omolo, our PS for Internal Security and National Administration. Karibu, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Njenga. Now, my PS colleague, Dr. Salome Bianco, the Solicitor General, the Honorable Shadrach Mose, His Excellency the British High Commissioner to Kenya, Neil, our friend Mr. Anthony, the resident representative for UNDP, and a number of all our important development partners here present and also represented. I can see so many friends, Rana, Madeline, our friend Mark from IDLO, representative from the Egyptian Embassy, and a number of other private sector players. The different heads of various agencies in government. We have the chair of IPOA in the House. We have the representative of the Inspector General of Police. We have the Commissioner General of the Kenya Prison Service, and the leadership in the other state departments, notably the State Department for Public Service, that is headed by my PS colleague, Amos Garecha, who is out of town, but is ably represented. Colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. I think today is one of my very happy moments that after a long conversation, we are at a point where we have a strategic framework which we will be rolling out going forward. Of course, part of what is captured in that strategic framework has already started being rolled out. And I want to take this moment to appreciate all of you for the support, for the discussions we've had, for the input. And that support has been in terms of technical advice, it's been in terms of actual financial resources, and engagement and interactions that we have had over this journey. Most notably with the UK Embassy, of course through Reinvent, and the UNDP, and a number of other partners that for lack of adequate time, I don't have to go into the specifics to mention. Now, the reform process and the reform journey within the National Police Service, the Kenya Prison Service, and the NYS is very key in the delivery of the administration of President Ruto to the country. And this was one of the commitments that His Excellency the President made, one when he was looking for votes, and one of the first undertakings upon assuming office was to set up the Maraga Task Force within the first 100 days to look at how to address the concerns that had bedeviled the services over the years. And that culminated in the presentation of those recommendations to His Excellency the President way back in November last year. And upon receiving those recommendations, the President was very clear in what he wanted us to do and gave us marching orders. And at some point, I've always imagined or actually believed that we are behind schedule with the implementations of those recommendations. But then These recommendations cut across various services, and it involves the input from a number of agencies. And that has meant that there has been a lot of back and forth in terms of consultations, in terms of even agreeing on how to take those recommendations forward. Notably, we have benefited from the input from a number of independent institutions, starting with IPOA. We have had engagements with the Salaries and Remunerations Commission. We've had engagements with the Public Service Commission and a number of other agencies. And in the process, of course, we've also had to engage consultants, as well as go back to members of the task force that actually gave us these beautiful recommendations. Now, it's worth noting that it's the first time that we are having a strategic framework that integrates 3 discipline services. And this strategic framework has been crafted to guide the reform process. And it's not the first time that we are trying to deal or address hard reforms within these services. And on previous occasions, we've made 2 steps ahead and 1 step backwards. So there have always been challenges. And in coming up with this strategic framework, we were alive to some of those challenges. And we were trying to see how best do we not fall into the trap of previous efforts that have yielded much results, but not to the level that we would expect as a country. Now, as a ministry, we remain committed to the full implementation of these reforms. And it is one of the key deliverables that we will be making amongst many other deliverables. And with those, I want to specifically move into some of the key highlights of what is captured in the strategic framework. But first, to look at what were some of the recommendations that emanated from the Maraga Task Force. And it's worth noting that cumulatively, we had a total of 598 recommendations spread across the 3 services. The bulk of them, of course, within the National Police Service, which is a total of 271 recommendations. Then we had another 210 recommendations within the National Youth Service and 117 recommendations within the prison service. Now, in terms of just the categorization, because when we looked at all those recommendations, it became obvious that a number of those recommendations just needed administrative action without the necessity to look for resources to do them. And that constituted 36%, or 221 out of the 598 recommendations. Then there were recommendations constituting 29%, a total of 177, spread across the 3 services that requires financial injection for purposes of implementing them. But then we do not necessarily need to make any changes to the policy or legislations that